Yeah, I mean, it's tough. When I first got hurt, the biggest thing that went through my mind was, I could either be a really bad teammate by woe was me, and I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to put my head down and look for pity, which I think would be a terrible representation of myself, and I think what I've grown to mean to this team. So, being as positive as can be, helping other people. Isaiah, Rowe, KT, Jeff, everybody, that was getting thrown in to different spots. I think I was able to kind of help them, by not, being that guy where it's like a selfish thing if I were to just sit there and sit on the bench with a towel over my head just because, I can't finish a game. But yeah, it was definitely tough, but just try to do my best to, be positive, encourage those guys, bring a lot of confidence to them, and let them play free and fast, and do a great job, and they did.
When you say help, like what is that like? Like is it with like scheme? Is it plays? Like what you see off the like? What does that look like?
There's a lot to it. Our scheme is pretty hectic. I think I take care of a lot of things with the checks and stuff. Then you pass that down to Isaiah, who did a phenomenal job. Him and Rowe together kind of took that and just ran with it, which was great to see for us as a defense, and those guys especially. Like they did a great job. But even just some things that a guy can get in their head pretty quick if something goes wrong. Just letting them know, like we've been here before. They're great football players. Everybody that we have in our room that plays. So just building their confidence, letting them know like I'm there every step of the way. You need help, ask me anything I see. I'm going to bring it to them. From a team or from them specifically. But I mean, I can't say enough just how much those guys just carried themselves with such pride when they were out there and they played so well. So maybe they didn't need me as much, but they did a great job.
What happened? Was it on the interception return? Was it a couple of plays after? Like what happened to with the injury?
It was on a play after, just kind of got folded up, had a little minor tweak of something. Heading in the Maryland game, I felt pretty good to go. Talked to Coach Sig and the trainers, and we decided, just kind of wasn't, worth the risk. I just don't think I was really ready to go in that moment. But everything's all good now, so we're turning upwards.
What makes Elijah's taking a big step up? What's been the cause of that? What is he doing so much better now?
Yeah, I think mentally he's gotten out of his own head and he's playing confident and he's playing fast. Rowe came in as a young guy trying to digest an entire scheme that, for me, it took a whole year and a half to kind of get under, my wing. So seeing how fast that he's been able to do it, especially last year, and how much he was able to play and be productive. This year he's taken it and ran with it. He's playing confident, he's playing fast, and he's just very familiar with everything. I think he's getting comfortable in the scheme and his position now.
Kurt said he was going to lean on you guys, UJMU guys, when you guys got here, that you were going to set the standard. For you, did you have a plan when you came in? Is it just working hard? Is it speeches in the locker room? Is it what did that practically look like when you guys have to set a standard for guys that aren't familiar with Kurt Signetti when you guys get here?
Yeah, honestly, it was a weird feeling at first. I didn't know if anybody was gonna, have hard feelings with a coach bringing his own guys. So when we got here, the first thing I wanted to do was, get away from football. Get with people outside of the facility to let them know, you're trying to build new relationships. You're not coming in as, I'm a competitor, I'm going to take your spot, and we're just going to be work buddies or whatever. So I'm letting everybody know you're trying to build those relationships. You're there to help people. So it is kind of a thing where I think you got to, check your ego at the door. You don't want anybody coming in and thinking this guy's here thinking, I'm going to show you how to do it my way and, all these things. So, the coaches did a great job with it. I think the JMU guys did a good job, leaving the ego at the door, being someone to kind of look to and lean on, not so much somebody that's I'm the teacher and, kind of doing, what coaches do instead. But I think the best thing that we did was just, getting together outside of football, building relationships, friendships that, I think at this point will last forever. But, instead of just being teammates, we took it off the field. We were able to kind of build bonds and relationships that way instead.
And at what point did you feel like IU was your team? Was it before fall started that first year, or is it after spring? Or at what point did you feel like I'm comfortable now? I don't have to walk on those eggshells or do anything like that?
Yeah, I would say about halfway through our first spring here. I think a lot of guys were kind of looking for somebody that's kind of going to take the lead, be able to lead the defense especially. And I think we had a lot of new faces, transfers. And building the continuity was rough at first, but we were able to kind of find common things together, see things the same way. I think that's when we took a big step. So pretty much halfway through spring, I think everybody kind of, gravitated towards, each other a little bit, and it was, kind of smooth sailing since then.
Indiana's now,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. It ain't over yet, but when you look back on this season, what do you think you're going to believe was the secret sauce?
Consistency and growth. I think I saw a quote from, I think it was Nick Saban today. It's not about, beating the opponent every single day. It's about being the best version of yourself and constantly growing. Because I think if you do that, you'll be undefeated in anything you do. So I just think that's going to be the biggest thing that I'll take away from this was I was never always preparing to, beat the opponent on a Saturday, even though I do put in a lot of hours for that. But from Monday through Friday, before getting to Saturday, how can I be the best version of myself in my preparation and the little things that I do specifically on and off the field? I think that's what's going to stand out to me the most, more than just X's and O's every Saturday.
Indiana's 10-0, back-to-back season. This is historical stuff. I know you guys are in the season. What's it been like to be, a key part of the fact that this is the best 2 years that Indiana's ever seen in football?
Yeah, I kind of have to check my mom on this sometimes. She'll kind of be like, you guys had such a good game. Like, you had such a good game. And sometimes I'll text her, like, the next opponent's name. And I'm like, let's not talk about this right now. The bye week, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit. But it's definitely special. Me personally, I don't like to look at it right now.
Sure.
I think it'll definitely be something I look back on, especially when the season ends. And I'm no longer, a player here. It'll be emotional, but I think I'll be extremely proud of what we were able to do. But I think the biggest thing for me is seeing two different teams with so many different players that have gelled together with the continuity and the love that we have as a team now. It's just been special, and I think that's why we've been so successful. It's just the buy-in that we have. Everybody wants to be the best, at their position, in the country. So I think just the fire and drive that we have as a team, 2 years in a row, speaks to what Coach Sig preaches about and, getting character into your locker room. Just guys that are hungry to win. And I think that'll define, these past 2 years for sure.
And to kind of follow up on that, what have you seen from the fan base overall, the city, the students, just as much as the enthusiasm has really mushroomed?
Yeah, complete turnaround. When I first got here, I was kind of meeting different athletes, and I was really curious as to why nobody talked about football. Coming from a football school at James Madison where football is everything. So getting here, I was like, do you go to the games? How's that work here? And they were just like, we haven't been to a game like 3 years. And I was like, all right, this is weird because where I'm from, it's sellouts every weekend. And now my family's struggling to find tickets to get into games. So which is a good thing now because we're selling out. There's so many people here that just want to support and be a part of something special. But this place, Bloomington itself, is just special. And I think it just needed a winner. Finally got it, and we've been fully embraced with open arms from everybody.
With senior day coming up, it comes up quickly on you with your mom and your family being there. What are the emotions that go into that with knowing that you and the James Madison transfers and all the seniors really put the program on the map?
Yeah, I'm an emotional person. So, when Saturday comes, there might be some moments in there with me and my mom, my sisters, and my stepdad. But just thinking about, when I first got here to, where I am now as a person and a player, it's just been, a lot of growth, a lot of struggles, and, a lot of things I've had to go through to get to where I'm at. I think Saturday, just me and my family having that moment will be pretty emotional. But, I just can't talk highly enough of Bloomington and, this program, this place that, has really allowed me to blossom as a person and a player. So, I love this place. It's going to be emotional, but we should give them one last, special show before we, have a good send-off.
We'll take two more. Coach Lignetti was a little emotional with his TV interview after the game. I guess, how did he kind of show that to you guys, or did he, what was he kind of like?
Yeah, in the locker room after, he called it one of the most improbable wins he's ever been a part of in his coaching career. And at times it did feel improbable. It felt like we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. But Coach Sig, being from Pennsylvania, I know that meant a lot to him. His family's from there, and obviously it's a school that, pretty much represents Pennsylvania as a whole. I think he was extremely proud of, not only his team, but honestly of himself. The amount of preparation and hours he puts in is unreal. That's why, everything that is coming his way, he deserves. He's a phenomenal football coach and a phenomenal person. So to see him emotional in those moments is really special to all of us.
What was the deal with his, just that yell? You saw that, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what was that about? Because we've seen him do the hoo, go IU and stuff, but that was just some sort of like, wild man yell.
Yeah, I think it's just raw emotion. My favorite one is the Go IU. I think that is awesome and honestly pretty funny. We have some old teammates from James Madison that'll come up on the weekends for some games, and they just say it over and over, and it's just Go IU like all the time. So he has his little sound clips and bites that everybody enjoys, but that one might be number one now with just raw emotion, just screaming at the end, and the fans buy into it and they love it. So he does a great job getting everybody involved.
Great. Thanks, Aiden.